Hey guys, my name is Urban Phoenix and this is Drawing the Human Figure from Your Mind, lesson 172. So now, before we move on to the muscles of the foot, we just need to solve a great mystery in drawing, and that is coming up with a universal system that allows us to draw the figure in any pose that we want. And here all we have to do is really latch on to Michelangelo's theories of drawing from bliss and attach to it the theories of Da Vinci, where he figured this out already in his understanding. So because the learning for the human figure is based on the skeleton structure, right? So in its most simplest idea is that if we wanted to, let's say, draw the human figure, we'll just draw him standing up here for a second. And let's create that 8-head view here. Okay, so all we have to do is now just divide it up in those parts, eight sections. And the universal system for this is, so just imagine this, that you can use this as a flow line, so it can be in any angle. So from here, all we have to really do is just draw in the skeleton structure in its most simplest form here. So here I'm going to draw in the skull, meaning the head, based on those formulas, because we already know all the muscles and how to put those details in. Okay, and from here all we have to do really is just draw, and you can just mark 1, 2, 3 here. You know that it's going to go out this much, and you can use the same formulas in those 3/4 view. And here just simply with a couple of lines here, you just specify that you understand that the chest cavity is over here and the opening is going to be here, and that's it. You don't have to mess around with it so much, and it can be just like this, and then you can draw in the pelvis, knowing that in the center is where that stuff is going to be. Right, and from here all we have to do is just put in the femur, just a line here, going down over here, and then line going down over here, and you know that from here is going to be the tibia coming in like so, and then you'll get the area of the foot over here, and you have the fibula right over there. And for the scapula, all we have to do is really just draw in those basic shapes, because we know what's going to happen with the clavicle, right? We've been through this understanding, and once you draw in the clavicle right over here, you're just going to get the arms, and here you can just flow in the arms here. Don't stop and draw them, and don't stop like at that bone section. Just draw it in like the way it's supposed to. And over here means that when we come down here to this point, it just means that that's where the fingers are going to go, and your hand is about going to be just like this. So here we can simply just put in the hands over here. But the cool thing about this system is it's universal, and you can't go wrong with it. You're not going to be able to make mistakes with it, because it's a simple form of a skeleton structure. So all you have to do now is just snap in all the muscles, right? And this is going to be very easy. So if you take the time to now put in these muscles, right, and you can then just repeat that same process of making this very realistic, and put in those muscles just with a couple of lines here to get that idea across, get that get that idea in for the whole human figure. And you know that the elbow is going to be here. You can just put in the biceps over here like so, and put in the muscles over here for the wrist, because you know what it's going to look like now. At the bicep here on this side, and just sketching it out pretty quickly. And using that same understanding that we went through, if we came back and cleaned this up, it will start, you can start illustrating and putting in all the details that you want. And here you know that you're going to get your the love handles that are going to go like this, like so, right? And then you'll get into the muscles for the leg over here. And the muscles are going to be very easy to put together because we just came off this and we know how these are supposed to be working. We understand how this is going to be defined over here. You're going to get that knee area over here. You're going to get that calf muscle over here. And you can pretty much, with simple lines here, draw in the full figure. And it's always going to be accurate, right? Because you're using that system of the skeleton structure to put it down here. And understanding all those muscles. So you can see we're not having any problems putting the figure down, right? And it's going to be accurate. And it didn't take much effort. Then you can just clean it up, start fixing it up a little, and then just take your eraser and start creating the actual skin layer on top of it. Just like we've been doing in all these lessons, that when we come off of the hand that you saw me do, make it more realistic and start rendering it. Okay. Here we can put in the ab muscles real quick, just jot them down over here. And then here we can put that head in. Put in the jaw, put in the eyes, put in the nose here. And here you can see we have an accurate output of the invention of the human being, after going all through all those muscles here. And then in that drawing process that we were talking about, you can now start to erase and make it much more realistic. And that was very easy to do. So here Da Vinci's in this, so we're proving Da Vinci right here, like we just proved Michelangelo, right? What they're saying is completely true as to how you can draw from bliss without making any mistakes, because you have these systems in place. These drawing processes where you put in those first lines, and now you have that model in place. Now to make this much more realistic, all we have to do is start erasing and rendering it. So here, I'm not going to erase over here. We'll just shade him in just a little bit and start to understand the power of this, so you can see it a little bit on camera over here. Just shade him in just a little bit here. It's more of a sketchy style over here. And you get the oblique muscles over here. like that. But now this is an accurate structure of the human being that we've accomplished using a system, a tool, to draw it out. So here we can now basically just create any pose here, right? So in this context, in Da Vinci's understandings of this, in which we're going to use for ourselves, is if you're going to draw the human figure, right, in any kind of pose, it is crucial to do a thumbnail of the idea here, because what that does is do the thumbnail, a real quick thumbnail of the actual drawing process that you're going to go through. So let's say if we do a thumbnail over here of, let's say if we want to make a figure like standing over here, you can go through that process. That this is what I'm thinking of this thumbnail. I want the hand to go this way, and I'm going to make the head over here, and this is going to be the chest cavity, and this is going to be the pelvis area, and this guy is going to be like standing like this, kind of like this, and his hand is going to be coming in this direction. And here you can start to put in, to snap on some of the muscles here to just understand some of the ideas that you're thinking of, right? And this is not going to take much of an effort. You can start to put in like the muscles for the hand, and just draw him out real quick in these small thumbnails ideas, and put in the muscles for the legs. And this is what Da Vinci used to do. You can see why he did this in his studies, to help the brain comprehend these ideas. Okay, so now if we wanted to do this big, now we have that process. Okay, this is what I'm thinking of. So now when you make it into a bigger pose here, okay, we can just put it in like so, and then just use that same process of drawing the figure like this. We can make the hand go like this, and you would follow that same process of at least get the head down first as to what are you thinking about how to put this together, right? As soon as, and we can get that head down over here. Once you have the head down, you can start putting in the proportions for the 8 head. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, around 8 over here. So it doesn't matter if you drew the flow line like this, you'll be able to adjust all this stuff here. So meaning that it's going to be like around here, and then you're going to get that same understanding of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just space it out based on the width of that head here. And here's where you can start to put in the chest cavity again, just like before, and continue on with this process of drawing. And you're going to get the scapula over here, and then you'll get the bone for the hands, pretty much going to be here, and then you're going to get the pelvis area, just like so. And you're going to get over here, then you'll get the foot like this, right? So you can see that the flow lines are off, and it's okay, because we're using Michelangelo's understanding that it's impossible to make any kind of mistakes in drawing the figure, because you have too many tools invested in the brain as to how to accomplish these tasks, and this universal system gives us that ability. So it's the same thing here. We just start attaching the muscles again, right? And think about how these muscles are going to be flowing. You're going to get that bicep, you're going to get that inner, you're going to get that tricep, You're going to start to get those muscles here. You're going to get that side view here. You get those muscles here. You get the neck muscles like so. And we're just repeating that same process which we just did over here, being able to accurately create the figures the way we want them to look like. Here are the love handles. Just like so. That's the belly button. You're going to get your muscles over here. You're going to get that muscle over here. Drawing the leg over here. And you see that we're doing this without using any reference at all, because the mind can figure everything out as long as it has access to the the skeleton structure like we're giving it. And we can make any kind of corrections that you would want. And here again we can just continue on and repeat that same process, start cleaning it up, and start shading it in and making it much more realistic. But we have all the proportions down correctly, and we can correct any mistakes in those drawing processes that we were talking about. And this is a big breakthrough in thinking that allows any artist to draw the human figure repeatedly over and over, and you can draw your dynamic poses, do whatever you want, using this same knowledge base here, and knowing that you doing a thumbnail will give you a much more successful drawing in the end, because it readies the brain to the process of what you want it to do, and then when you draw it, it works out. And here's that figure with all those lines erased, and I put in all the lines in for the muscles, and using those ideas of contour drawing and really finishing it up. So here I can just move forward and clean this up more and start making it much more realistic. So here that proves again to what Da Vinci and Michelangelo's theories, when you collide them together, as to how they make so much sense and help all artists understand how to put the figure onto paper using this universal system of drawing. And you can't go wrong with this. You can put 20 different figures on paper and you'll always get them right using that very simple skeleton system in place. So next what we'll do is move on to the foot and wrap this invention up. Hope you join me for that. Thanks.